I'm Yolanda, aka Creative Mommy of Two, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to do a whip and chat. So grab out whatever that is your work in progress, also known as whip, in case you didn't know. And yeah, let's have a ramble, shall we? So yeah, as I said, grab out whatever it is that you're working on, whether that is a cross stitch, a diamond pinning, like mine, even though mine is also cross stitch, because in case you don't recognize the project because there's not much visible and you don't know the project that I'm working on, the one from the thumbnail, I'm working on that one as a cross stitch conversion. I did a whole series about it. It was a kind of an idiotic project. Basically, I got a Heaven and Earth Designs cross stitch pattern and I converted that into a diamond pinning, as you can see laying on the table. This version is a round version, so in case you can see the shape of drills, you can see, like, for example here, some rounds in between the drills. So that comes because it's a round. I saw a round canvas and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to do it. Who cares if it looks bad? It's working only from stash, so I didn't buy the drills. A few of you lovely people over on the viewing side of this video have sent me some drills. Thank you so much, you know who you are. I actually was, before I started recording, I actually was filling in with the latest batch, so thank you, you know who you are. But yeah, so let's get into it. So yeah, as I said, I am doing this with a Heaven and Earth design pattern. It's a Randall Spangler, it's Treasure Quest. As I said, it was an entire idiotic project. This is the last of the projects I'm working on. I had a square conversion, a round conversion, and the Diamond Art Club, quote unquote, original diamond painting. So yeah, I'm now working on the round and I am a little less than halfway. If I would have been able to fill it in, I think I would be around like 60-70%. I'm now working on this part. I need this like the same as I have here on the bottom side, give or take. I believe that's like a little smaller, but give or take something like that. And then I need one row underneath that, and then I'm done. So after that, you will see a conversion round versus square again. So hopefully, since the kids have a vacation now, maybe I can work on this one during the day a bit more. Because yeah, I can do my short time lapses filming. So yeah, I'm still standing, I'm not working. So that becomes because I wanted to show you my new pen. Ooh, it looks really green, but it's a really dark wood. It's like a really dark wood color. I'll try to see if I can take a picture in better light tomorrow morning, because I'm filming in the evening because the kids are in bed because they have a vacation. So I kicked the husband upstairs and am doing my whip and chat in the evening. So this pen was an amazing gift from my husband for my birthday. So he 3D printed this pen for me. And I do need to say, so far so good. It's now the first time that I'm working with it. So I'm going to sit down now. But yeah, it's now the first time that I'm working with it. And I do need to say it works out really well. So what color am I going to work with? I'm going to just start with that. Hopefully I'm not too scatterbrained to work on it while I'm rambling. Otherwise you will just see a lot less placed. Because yeah, my brain is basically, as per usual, all over the place and still not in the place where it belongs. Yeah, I don't know what I have the last few weeks, but yeah, it's something. I have a feeling that I'm close to another burnout / depression. I think it's more like a depression than a burnout. So yeah, it doesn't help that the kids are way overstimulated from school and Easter and everything, and like a vacation, and so they're a bit overstimulated, which doesn't make it easier for me. Thankfully for me, at least, excuse me, my husband has off next week, so at least then I have a few days that he is at home. Well, he does need to work on Monday because the like the like what's the word? The office that he works in is basically like they have to have a certain amount of people there for the certain job. I'm not going to tell what it is because he is not comfortable with that. Because yeah, he's in the Navy, so yeah, obviously I'm not going to go into too much detail about that. Because there is a thing like privacy. But yeah, so they at least need for certain tasks, they need a certain amount of people there. And yeah, if he would take off on Monday, they wouldn't have the right amount of people. So he goes to work on Monday next week, and then he has a week off. Also because they have, I believe, like a bank holiday that they put on Monday. I think it's like King's Day that they do on Monday, because King's Day is actually on Sunday. It's the 27th of April, in case you're wondering. And that's when the entire country goes orange. No, that's what they thought they would do. So that's why he needs to work on Monday, because they changed that bank holiday to another day. It was Remembrance Day. Well, our version of Remembrance Day. Bevrijdingsdag, so Liberation Day. That's on Monday. So that's also, no, yes, no. Oh, I'm so done with my days now at the point. No, it's King's Day the week after it's on the Liberation Day, because that's also the extra day of school the kids have. Because normally they would go to school on the 5th after vacation. But since it's Liberation Day, obviously they're not. Yeah, I'm a little flustered with my dates. I'm glad that I even remembered when was my own birthday and when my kids' birthday is and my husband's, because at the moment, as I said, I'm a mess. Yeah, what's new there? Yeah, at times I feel like I'm basically like struggling with the most basic kind of stuff. So I'm like, how do I even keep going? Yeah, so husband had a extra long weekend, so that was nice. The kids had also a lot of stuff they done past week in school, because they celebrated Easter, they celebrated King's Day, because that was this year in the middle of the vacation. And there's always like a day, basically like a national day when King's Day is celebrated in schools. So that was past Thursday. So the school was basically turned in orange. Well, all the kids at least were dressed in orange. I gave my daughter one of these like face markers with her. Like, here, if somebody doesn't have something, because it wasn't too terribly obvious, because they also at that day did Easter. So like, if somebody doesn't have a thing, here, let them paint their face with the Dutch flag. In the end, it's the kids themselves that did it and not the teacher. So the marker came, well, marker, it's like a face paint stick. You can actually like buy sticks like totally prepared to, in one swipe, do the red, white, and blue. So our Dutch flag comes basically in a stick, so you can just swipe it and you're done. Really easy, because if I needed to paint all the 3 lines separately, yeah, it would not be good. Even though it's just simple lines, but yeah. I'm good at following directions, but not free-handed. That one there, those 2 there. Am I correct? Yes, I am. But yeah, so because the kids themselves did that, and basically they didn't look too careful, some of the colors broke off, but I was a little bit, not angry, but like, quote unquote, disappointed that they were so careless with it. But at the same time, I was like, well, it's the same face paint I have since my daughter goes to school. This is her 3rd year already. And there was hardly visible that it was even used. So I was like, you know what? Who gives a beep? So I was like, yeah, it's annoying, but at the same time, like, hey, at least it gets used. Because our son is not really into face paints or anything. He didn't want his face painted. He only wanted his Paw Patrol orange shirt. It was just a regular shirt. It was only orange in background color. So that was like as far as he would go. But he's a little bit fussy when he comes to special things like that. So we are already prepared to like not go all over with his stuff. But our daughter loves to dress up and everything. So for her, she's like, the crazier the better. So I ended up getting an entire Gabby's Dollhouse orange outfit, like with leggings, with a skirt, with socks, with a shirt, and like the whole shebang. So she was happy. She was really happy with it. She was right in her element. So I'm like, good for you. At least one of them enjoys it. But our daughter's always like the more outgoing out of the 2 of them. Our son is more like wants to blend in, basically. He's not that outgoing. He does love stuff, but not as much as our daughter does, which is fine. He's also like not so totally amused by the fact that they then have like loud stuff. There's like a quote unquote also like national King's Day dance for the schools and everything, which they perform on that day, like when they go into school. Yeah, our son was not happy with it. Thankfully, he did go to his teacher like right away, so I was like, good, that's a good thing. Daughter was like jumping and dancing and doing everything, and he was like with a frowny face, like, nope, not going to happen. So it's like fun to see the difference between those 2, because they are like night and day. And even though apparently also in school they see that they are siblings, because both of them have their neurodivergent tendencies. Our daughter, in case you are new to the channel, our daughter has NLD, which is a non-verbal learning disorder. And no, it is not as it sounds. It's not a problem with speech or anything. No, it's basically the opposite of that. Because she is verbally very strong. So that sometimes certain things get overlooked because she has the brain power to know what you mean, but she has not the, well, how to say it, like the physical things to back it up, to say it like that. So in case you like ask her to paint herself, like if she needs to go do that in one go, she gets overstimulated because she doesn't know like what she's doing, because she has the image in her head like, this do I need to paint, but she doesn't know like how to get it from her head onto the page, if that makes sense. That's like it disconnects somewhere. That's like the best thing I can compare it with. It's also like the principal at school also said, like, it's the case of like, it's not ADHD, it's not autism, like it's all over the place. It's a bit of everything. So yeah, like one of the teachers in school, actually one that she had last year, every now and then it's like one of those teachers that was not for her exact class, but sometimes they mix the classes together a little bit. So the teacher does know her. So they were like, "Oh, NLD, is that what she has?" It's like, "Yes." And she was like, "Oh, I got a training course on that." I was like, "Oh, you should have told me last year." So she was laughing with that. I was like, "Yeah, then I would have had something of that." Because, yeah, you had her in the class sometimes. But yeah, I'm joking with that because I know all the teachers in school do their stinking best. They are amazing. The teacher she had last year actually also has a personal experience with kids with autism, if I'm not mistaken, because I believe her son has autism. So she is like used to like going through a list of possible solutions to a problem that arises. So that was also like very nice. It's like it was a teacher that from personal experience knows what she's talking about. That does make a lot of difference. The other teachers still do know what they're talking about, don't get me wrong, but it's like different when you're talking about personal experience. Because that's with a lot of things, like no matter what it is, like, yeah, it makes a lot of difference. But yeah, but I'm rambling. How did I get on that tendency? Oh yeah, now I know where I started. But yeah, so our kids are apparently, at least in school, kind of the same. Because I was talking to the teacher on Wednesday, the one that had our daughter last year, and she was saying like, he looks so much like him in the way he acts. It's sometimes almost scary, and I'm like, oh no, like don't tell that to me, because we're already often enough like, do we need to have him tested for if he also has NLD or something? Because yeah, obviously we ourselves also notice at times that he has some tics. Let's call it like that. Because yeah, obviously we as parents also notice that. But yeah, apparently at school they also notice that. But the good thing is, for him it is a lot less extreme. It's not that they can't handle him. If you've been it before, if you heard me talking about this perhaps like a few weeks back, and I placed a drill too much. Get off here. But yeah, they told us that like, he's like, at certain things he's like really outgoing, and really he's like to the point of like shaking because of enthusiasm, and apparently he's a very lovable kid. Very outgoing with the rest of the class. So yeah, I'm not worried, but at the same time it's like he does have some tendency that his sister also has. And yeah, we also told his teacher, like, at times we're like, should we get him tested just so we know what to expect, like in the future, like he at least then has that stamp of whatever applies for him, so in case we need to have help in the future, so we know like where we need to look for. And she was like, yeah, people nowadays talk about stamps like autism and so on so quickly. And I was like, oh boy, here we go. Like, but it's not necessary and everything like that. But she was like, no, they aren't stamps. They are, how did she put it? Like, handles of like what to do, like guidance handles. And I was like, oh, thankfully somebody that's not directly did give the kids so quickly the autism or ADHD stamp or whatever. Because yeah, that's also a thing that I hear like quite a lot, and I'm not always too terribly excited about, because some people are like, yeah, but nowadays they give those stamps way too easy to kids and so on and so forth. I'm like, yeah, because when I grew up, you just hardly got those diagnoses. So yeah, of course they now give them quote unquote easily, because then you never heard about it. Now you just hear about it way more often. But yeah, soapbox, trying to get off it. Yeah, as I said, like I feel that I'm going to a depression again, so I'm like extra rambly, get on soapboxes way more easily than I normally do, and I rant quite easily. So I'll do my best. I'll do my best. But yeah. But yeah, so back to what I was saying, or at least trying to remember what I was saying. Hey, yeah, 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 yeah. But yeah, so they had like their little dance performance, and our son was not having it. Well, not having it is an understatement. He did not want to go to, so I was like, fine. But thankfully, he went to his teacher perfectly fine. He stood there. There were basically all of his kids from his class were like, nope, not going to do that. Do I have idiot written on my face? So, yeah, he wasn't the only one, thankfully. Some kids love to do that. Some were like, nope. But yeah. But yeah, thankfully, because I always like cut up the fruits on Thursday, so I was in school, so it was like, if it gets too terrible, just let me know, and he can at least like, I can give him a cuddle or something. But it wasn't necessary. Once he was in class again, it was like a little bit settled, like normal, quote unquote. He was his happy little self again. He enjoyed it very much in school that day, so it was like, phew, crisis averted. But yeah, when he's not really wanting to go to the teacher and everything, then yeah, that's always a moment that I'm like, oh boy, here we go. But thankfully, most of the times when he is in school and he's like settled down a little bit and they get like into the usual routine, most of the times he's okay then. So thankfully it's not to the extremes as our daughter can be, because yeesh. She has her moments that I'm like, girl, are you flipping kidding me? But oh well. Am I doing this right? No, I'm not. This one needs to be there. Yeah, but our kids, I love them to pieces, but at times, yeesh. But I think that's still a thing that every parent has. I think it's like a rite of passage, like have a moment where you're like, I can murder my kids even though I love them to pieces. And yes, I'm one of those parents. I'm perfectly fine with saying out loud that at times I want to strangle them, even though if something would really happen to them, I would be devastated. So yeah, if I say that I can murder my kids, it's not literally, it's a figure of speech, obviously. But yeah, at times, yeesh. It's like also with like one of the other moms that I speak like quite a lot. We're often like, have kids, they said. It'll be fun, they said. You want to murder them at times, nobody said out loud. So yeah, obviously both of us are like, not going to do it, but at times, eesh. Yeah. But yeah, as I said, like, I'm honest enough that I just say that out loud. But yeah, we were actually very, very proud of our daughter last week because she had her swimming lessons again. And normally she is like absolutely not going into the water with her face, like she doesn't want to. And you can have quite a temper tantrum if you still keep trying. But she was so brave. She got swimming goggles because the teacher said, like, you know what, we can try, maybe like get her over her fear of the water in her eyes or something, like anything to try, as long as when she goes up for her swimming diploma that she then at least tries for that day to go without. The other times they are perfectly fine with the kids wearing swimming goggles. So yeah, we bought them, and then the week after she went underwater with her face even without the goggles. Like, first she went with them, like not really wanting to and everything. And did I make a fudge up here? Did I not? Did I not? Where did I go wrong? Oh, hold that thought. That one there, that one there, that there. Ah, okay, I got it. This one needed to go there. That makes much more sense. Sometimes I have two similar shapes and I'm just going to place them in the wrong place. Oh yeah, at another point, I just find out. Yeah. But yeah, as I was saying, so our daughter swam without her swimming goggles, so she was like saying like that we could return it to the store because she didn't need it. And we're like, you know what, you can just still take it with you for other things and everything. And like, also like when you have your diploma, you can still swim with it or anything, or whenever you need it, you just have it. And also like it's used, the store will not take it back. Would sometimes be nice. But yeah, so at least she was considerate enough, like, hey, we can't bring it back, so you don't need to spend your money on it. So that was at least considerate of her. You need to say the kids are like lately like really sweet and like thinking of others, and okay, they are also like little demons at times because they are also having a tendency to make your blood boil because they do exactly what you just 5 seconds before that told them for the 20,000th time that they should not be doing that. Obviously they will. Have kids, they said. It'll be fun, they said. Ay, 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 ay. Can you notice that at times as I said, like at times it feels like I want to murder the kids. Even though I obviously am not going to do that. But yeah, little monsters. Son is almost turning 5 already. Next week is his birthday. So next week on Friday we have his birthday part. It's his birthday as well as my husband's actually, because hubby and the kiddo share a birthday. This one needs to go there. Yes, am I right? Am I right? Yes, I am. This one is there. I do need to like mark off what I'm doing, especially like in sections like these that I'm like really easily distracted, because otherwise I for sure don't know what I'm doing. But yeah, so next week on Saturday we have a birthday party for our son with like family. Excuse me. We actually last Friday got his birthday present. So our daughter still needed to go to school, and our son, yeah, has always off on Friday, so that's nothing special. But my husband was also had also off because it was I'm lacking of brain power to translate. Translation, brain translates, please translate. Do what I ask you. Yeah, my brain is not translating, so the Friday before Easter. That's the best translation I can come up with at this point in time. So, yeah, our daughter needed to go to school. Hubby and son both were off. So we're like, you know what? We are going to go to Van Kranenbroek again, which I went to a couple of weeks back for his present because we saw a car thing. And that was a hubby walking around. Okay. Let's see. I need to be there. So there and that one there. And that one also needs to be closed off. Yes, I know I ramble a lot to myself. I'm really aware that I do that. So no worries. I'm used to it. But yeah, so we saw for our son a little bit ago that they had like one of these, like from, I believe the brand was Majorette. And they had like an amazing big, like big AF, I can almost say, car, garage thing. He loved it. And we're like, you know what? We're just going to look first for like other places. Maybe they are cheaper somewhere else. Yeah, I was really banging my head against the wall when I came back a week later and saw that they were sold out. I called the one close to my parents because they also have one there. Like, hey, do you have that one? And they didn't. I asked the personnel, like, hey, do you know if it comes back in stock or if it's like gone is gone, because they have that many times, like whatever they get in, like it's a one time only. She's like, I think it's one time only, but I'm going to check. So she checked and she saw that it actually stood up like, hey, it is still coming in. So she was like, you can try and come back in a bit. So past Friday, we went back and dang, did we get lucky. There were, I believe, like 4 of them. So I grabbed one out of the rack like almost immediately. Like, this is not going anywhere. Guarded with my life. Not that extreme, but still was like, yeah. We can debate whatever, but as long as I hold it, or at least close to me, nobody will at least grab it away. If I let it stand there, they might get taken away. Well, when we walked away from the place where they had like the toy section, there was just one and still. So yeah, there were 5, I think, when we got them. So we got lucky. But instead of also the price of €60 that it had before, it was marked down to just €30. It was like half off. And all the cars that they had were half off. So they were like 160 per car. And then like €30 for the entire thing. It was the gift that we decided on that my parents would give him. So yeah, he doesn't know what he is going to get, and he also does know that he needs to wait for it. But he was fine with that. But yeah, it was marked down so well. So we're like, oh, yeah, for the fact that I was really annoyed with the fact that it wasn't available anymore, I'm now so glad it wasn't available anymore. My husband also was like, yeah, that I totally understand, because we also gave him like, for like as gift from my parents, like, I believe we ended up with like 13 cars or something, and we still wouldn't pay as much. Still didn't pay as much as we normally would have only paid for like only the garage. So yeah, I was in my element, obviously. I'm Dutch. I like to have a good sale. So yeah, I told later on to my dad, like, hey, we got it for this price. And he was like, huh, that's nice. So yeah, I was, in the end, kind of happy with it. Let's see, do I have everything here? There, there. There. Yes, those can get marked out as well. But yeah, so I was really happy with that. In the afternoon, we went to our city center because I finally got my glasses. But yeah, they were not really sitting on my face well. I actually still notice that when I am sitting forward, like diamond painting or anything, that it still slides a bit. But that I'm okay with. But yeah, it was completely crooked on my face. When I looked in the mirror, like one part was like almost like in my eyebrow and the other part was like way below. So I was like, yeah, no, this is not how it should look. So they bended it straight again, but yeah, I now have my glasses. Finally, I can see something again. So that also means that I now can diamond paint in the evening back again. So oh, I'm so happy. Oh, I was so annoyed with not having decent eyesight. Like, oh. If you have glasses, you probably can imagine, but otherwise, yeah, I hope you don't get through that, because I seriously got a migraine from not having glasses. So, yeah, that was no fun. I really did not like it. But yeah, on Thursday, I finally got them in. I needed to be in my city center, so I was like, you know what, I'm just going to be the impatient, annoying person. You know them, but every now and then you just need to be one. And I'm like, I just went there like, hey, do you perhaps have a set day that you get everything in, so that I know, like, if it isn't in, I need to wait till after Easter. She was like, no, we get our stuff in like basically every day. So I was like, sweet, good to know. Thanks. I was like, yeah, what's your name? Then I can directly see. And was like, yeah, so and so. And she's like, that address? I was like, yes. It was like, so she saw that one pair she could find. Those actually were my sunglasses. I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to be one of those persons and I'm just going to sit indoors with my sunglasses. Just for the fact that at least it's better than having a migraine the entire day. And they were kind of understanding when I said that. So it's like, yeah, at least I have something. If the other one comes in somewhere around the week, I'll see the phone call coming. Well, I was hardly at home and my phone rang. We found your other pair of glasses. So, yay, I got them both. What? So yeah, I'm going to stand up, can directly peep, like, yes, I'm still filming, so I have my glasses. So here they are. Sorry for the shine, so that's my ring light. But yeah, now I can see again. It's not really strong one, but oof, then you notice like how bad your eyesight is. But it's like, I was talking with a cousin, well, married to the family cousin. She is the wife of my cousin. Like we were talking about it, like glasses, because she also has glasses nowadays. Like I thought she said like a year ago she got them. My cousin was joking, like with almost everybody in our family having glasses, like our youngest two cousins don't have, no, the youngest doesn't have glasses, the oldest doesn't one, and the one in the middle. No, only the girls. Only the girls have glasses. Well, none of the boys have. Well, boys. The youngest turned 23, so not really a boy anymore. Nah, well, he especially isn't because he is like the biggest of all of us, I think. He is like a long one. But yeah, my cousin was joking, like, I still don't have glasses, and so and so. I was like, yeah, you're in your 30s, so don't keep pushing it. I only have them like since last week. And yeah, you know, my 34th birthday was yesterday. So yeah, it was yesterday when we spoke. So I am filming on Tuesday for Clarence. So yeah, it's like, yeah, you still have a couple of years. You're not in your 40s yet. If you're in your 40s and you still don't have glasses, then you can say like, hey, I'm getting rid of the family tradition, because almost all of us have glasses when we're like around the 30s. Because I know my parents both had them, so it's like when I needed to go for my glasses, I was already saying to my husband, like, I don't care. I always said, like, from being small, that I'm like, I someday need to have glasses, and honestly, I don't give a rat's behind as long as I can see. So that's the most important part, especially now that I got migraines that were killing me. Well, killing me is almost an understatement, so yeah. But yeah, we had a birthday party that we needed to attend yesterday, because my aunt actually I actually have a aunt whose birthday it is like a day after mine. So yeah, I had my birthday on the first Easter day and she had it on the second Easter day. And yeah, since we were like, no, we're not going to celebrate it this year. Not again. No, I don't want to this year. So she celebrated her birthday, and actually like their youngest's birthday, that's the one that turned 23, but he turned 23 in like February. And my uncle as well, whose birthday is actually one day before my daughter, so his birthday is the 26th of June. Because my dad's youngest brother is the day before my daughter, his birthday, and the eldest is the day after. So they made 3 in a row. It's really easy to remember their birthdays now. I earlier never could remember, because I always knew like all 4 of the brothers were like within a month from each other. And I knew my dad was the first, but I never knew which one was at what day. So that was always like, I don't know. And I placed a drill somewhere, but I'm not sure. No, that's not the one I needed. There. Needs to go there. Yeah, so now I can easily remember when their birthdays are. Yeah, meow, meow. Cat, you act like you never get your food. But yeah, so we had the birthday of my aunt to go to. Daughter was not happy because that she needed to go because she had like a lot of fun there. That's the quote unquote downsides. Ooh, placed them wrong. Like again, like I see where I need to place them and still I placed them wrong. But yeah, my aunt is also like having like a miniature sort of daycare for kids. So she has always like a lot of playground stuff and everything around. So that's always nice for the kids. But yeah, since our daughter was already way overstimulated with everything, also like the school week was really off, and then having vacation, and it being my birthday, and also like Easter, and yeah, it became a bit much. So she had a little bit of a temper tantrum, which we already knew would be coming, so that was at least a good thing because you know to prepare. Even though it still makes you grumble at times, but it will. But at least you know what to expect. But yeah, the kids had a blast. Do need to say it was nice to have them like moving around, being sure that they are safe because yeah, they need to be. She needs to have the place like inspected regularly because she has like a quote unquote daycare. So that's always nice. And there. Yeah, on Sunday, as I said, like it was my birthday. We had a nice quote unquote relaxing day. The kids were, as I said, like off like the entire weekend. So yeah, but it's not something that's really their fault because they can't. It's not their fault that it's just a crazy couple of days every now and then. Let's see, I need to be there. But yeah, it was quote unquote annoying, but at the same time, like we knew what to expect, but we had like a quote unquote fancy lunch and dinner. Was nothing too fancy. We just had some croissants that my husband baked off. Well, no, I baked them off. And my husband did dinner for me, so I didn't need to cook. I was like, I don't give a rat's behind what we do for dinner, as long as I don't need to cook it. Like basically, like Mother's Day and my birthday are basically like the days that almost every year, like my husband cooks. Sometimes we just do French fries, sometimes we just do pizza. And I'm like, I don't care. I don't expect like a full 5-course meal, like Michelin star worthy or anything. But it still was so good. He made salmon in, like, what's the word? Like herb butter, like from the oven. And some French fries with that, and then some cucumber, and it was delicious. I loved it. And I was really happy. Ugh, and I forgot to take it off. I was really happy just for the simple fact that I just did not need to cook. My husband always says like he's not the best cook. He loves many of my dishes. He's always like, I can't do it as good as you. And I'm like, yeah, but at least you're trying. Hell, he even made my salmon how I made it. He made it better. So I'm like, what are you fussing about? It doesn't happen often that things he thinks up I make better than him. He made my dishes better a number of times already, so like, no clue why you're fussing. But he's a decent cook, so. Also, like, for example, when I had surgery last year, no, 2 years ago it's already, I didn't need to be worried because I knew there was good food on the table simply for the fact that I know that he can cook. It's also a nice to have in mind that if something happens that I need to go to the hospital for a longer stay or anything, or I'm sick or whatever, he and the kids just have food, they're taken care of, and I'm not like needing to fuss with that, so that's always nice. Come on. But yeah, so like we had some good lunch, some good dinner. I got breakfast in bed from the kiddos and my husband. Like he told that in the morning, in the evening. He had his D&D in the evening on Saturday, so he came home and he was like, if I woke up from the kids, which normally happens, he was like, hey, put me awake so that I can also like get up like a little bit quieter, so not like with screaming kids around the face, because I also don't like that. I always like to have like at least like 20 minutes would be preferred, 5 minutes at the minimum, to like just slowly somewhat wake up. Just like, hey, if the kids wake you up, don't get out of bed, just poke me up, like tell them that they need to wait for a few minutes so that he could take them downstairs with him so they could make me breakfast in bed, because every now and then that's nice, and he knows that I like that, so he did that so I could like stay in bed for a little bit. Then I didn't do much because I was like, that was like basically my quote unquote demand for the day. Like, whatever I want to do, I can do, but not like I need to do all the household work and everything. But obviously, still things like the litter boxes I still did and so on. But not like I need to do laundry for like almost the entire day because of the fact that basically nobody else does it. So he did do like dishes and everything, at least for the best of his ability. So I'm happy with that. I was like, hey, it was later on, like, I think yesterday evening, I grabbed something and he was like, oh, I think I put that one there. I was like, yeah, I noticed, but hey, at least you tried. I would have found it if I needed it, so no worries there. Always happy that he every now and then at least does something in slash around the house. So I'm not going to fuss too much about it. As long as he's not leaving everything everywhere, then I'm happy. Yeah, after lunch, well, actually, like a bit before lunch, we're like, yeah, what are we going to do? It's nice weather, but yeah, it's Easter, so it's not that there's a lot open. So what are we going to do? So we ended up going to Gaia Zoo again, since we have a year pass, and we're like, if it's too terribly busy, we'll just go back home. But for now, we can at least say like we have a nice walk. We actually got very lucky because we had a few animals that were like really close to us. One, we actually weren't aware that there were so many in that enclosure. We thought there were like one, maybe two, but apparently there were a lot of them. We saw like 6 of them. So we're like, how did we not know that there were so many of them? But yeah, apparently if you only see 1 or 2 every now and then, you just think that there's not many of them. I don't know actually like how that animal is called in English, but in Dutch it's called a siezel. I know, crazy name. But yeah, a siezel. Okay, yeah, there. It's like I need to place something somewhere here. But yeah, it's called a siezel. It's like a a little tiny creature. It's like, I believe it's also was called like a ground squirrel. I'm not entirely sure. I didn't read it this time. Otherwise, I would probably have seen the sign, because they always, well, most of it is also in German and English as well. Oh, there. We need them both. But yeah, it was a cute little creature. And yeah, normally if we are lucky, we see it like from a big distance, but this time it was actually also like really close. So yeah, it was almost like giving hands close. And that's, I think, the wrong spot, isn't it? Isn't it? Yes, it is. To change it around. Thankfully, it's movable. There we need to go. We have that. Then we need that. Yeah, so it was really close. It was actually like, if there wasn't glass in between the kids and the little animal, they could have held hands. So close that it was. But it was terribly sweet. Our daughter also saw the lynxes that were like really close. It was all like, that was a good spot. There was also, I believe, a monkey that was like with its hand against the glass. So it basically gave her daughter a hand. So we're like, oh, that's so cute. But yeah, it's such an amazing zoo. They try to keep as close to like the environment of the animals as possible. And they do like a lot of enrichment. It's not like, for example, last time we were there, they did a lion feeding. They don't just throw the pieces of meat in there like, here, you have it. No, they, for example, pulled it on like a bungee rope and put it in a tree, so that the animals like really needed to jump at it to get it. And yeah, it was so fun. But yeah, they try to stay as close as possible to the environment of the animal itself, so also the animal itself has fun, and they are not like the caged animal type animals. We were already thinking about going again, like in 2 weeks, when my husband has his day off for like their birthdays. Do need to see, because we're also thinking about having at least one day to bring them to the kids to my parents. Need to call them about that actually tomorrow. Do need to count it up here, otherwise I'm going to place them wrong. 1, 2, 1, 2. The right row, yes it is. There we need there. That's the only downside of like filming a WIP and Chat and doing a cross stitch conversion. I do need to count out a lot more. But yeah, so we are thinking about going then for husband and son's birthday. But our daughter also has like a reading challenge from school again. And one of the challenges is reading to an animal. So we were yesterday talking, not with our daughter close to us, but we're like, hey, what if we go next, we take a little reading book with us and have her read in the zoo to a few animals, like see what gives the funnest picture. Like, fine if it's like really in the background or anything, but like, how fun would it be if like a picture of like one of the monkeys or whatever animal, for example, like the Cecil that did like come like really close, like how cute is that? Like have a kid reading like to a zoo animal. So we personally, at least, were like, that's so stinking adorable. Am I doing this right? I think I am not. But still, it should be. I think I misplaced the drill there, but I will find out which one it is, but not now. But yeah, we're like, it would be really cute to have her read like a few small sentences and like a few different enclosures. She will probably wants to read for the capybaras because those are like her favorite animal, at least at this point in time. She also has a stuffed animal of it. She got that one last year already. Yes, I know, Lucy, you want to eat, but you still have to wait for like a half an hour at the very least. Yeah, so she has a stuffed animal of that, and yeah. So it's like her go-to favorite at this point in time. So I'm like, yeah, how fun would that be if we could have her read in front of the capybaras? At least I think she would love it. And it's something different than just reading for the dog or the cat. Not that there's something wrong with that, but at least I think that's cuter. They also think that I'm rambling for quite a long time. So let's see. I'm past an hour. It's noticeable that I'm feeling better and not better at the same time. Because when I am getting close to like depression, I get way more rambly than other times. But I also do need to acknowledge now that at least at this point in time, yeah, there also did happen a lot in a short time. There was a lot happening the past week, actually, so yeah. So sorry, but yeah, you might need it to change gears a few times. Yeah, let me know how many times did you need to pause the video. And I don't care if you needed to pause it multiple times or shut it off because I'm rambling for too long or anything. That's all perfectly fine. So let's see, what else did I read? Full wrote down. Yeah, the only thing I didn't talk to you about, so I'm going to just quickly touch on that, is that on Saturday, yeah, I know, I'm all over the place. Like, we're going from Wednesday to Monday to Sunday to Saturday to Friday on whatever is all in between. I'm going all over the place, I'm sorry, but this happened on Saturday. So, on Saturday, we had quite good weather here. Oh, do I have enough? No, I don't, but I do of that one. So we had quite good weather here, and one of our daughter's classmates was actually like running around the neighborhood, and he asked if our daughter could come and play at the playground with him. So for the first time, our daughter went to the playground, like down the street. We can actually like see it from our house. But still, she went to the playground by herself for the first time. But yeah, she's almost turning 7. She has just 2 more. Like, depending on how quick you watched it, but if you watched this like in the week leading up to, well, directly after this video goes up, she has just a little over 2 months to go. So I'm like, yeah, at some point we need to trust her with it. I was actually indoors when she asked that my husband. I was like, and he's like, he also like looked it up, like what's like a decent age for that. And I was like around 7, so he's like, she should be okay. The street that we live on, and that's like on the playground, is not too terribly busy. Yes, they drive loud sometimes, but also like a lot of the kids go to school together, so a lot of them know each other and everything. So also like a lot of the parents that live next to that playground also keep an eye out for like, hey, if everything goes okay and everything. So yeah, thankfully everything went well. It was also at a certain point that we're like, okay, when we call you, you need to come back home, because that means that it's almost time for dinner. And don't forget to decently look left, right, and everything before you cross the road. So husband stood on our quote unquote balcony and he yelled her name. And she was like, okay, I gotta go. And ran to the street. Well, not ran to the street, but ran to where she needs to cross the street, slow down, really looked well, and crossed the road. So she did really well, thankfully. Because she can be a little bit of a tank at times, so sometimes she's not really looking, but it went good. So maybe in the future, like in this vacation, she might go more often, depending on what the weather does. Our son wasn't too terribly happy that he couldn't join, but we're like at the same time like, yeah, she is a few years older than you. When you're that age, you can go as well. But yeah, every now and then, some things just won't go as you want them to. So, sorry, buddy. Yeah, but he wasn't too happy with it. But yeah, sometimes it's a case of tough luck, Chuck. But yeah, she enjoyed it, so that was good. So that made that I was able to sit in the garden and cross stitch, so that I at least was able to like keep an ear out. She has a kind of distinct giggle, so we heard that quite a lot. So we knew she had fun, and at least she was, well, at the playground or close to it. And yeah, every time we did snoop around, she was still there. Husband sneaked to there at a certain point. She was still just sweetly playing on the playground. So she did as was asked of her, so that was a good thing. Yeah, I know, you want food. Give me a few seconds to wrap it up here, kitty cat. By the way, she's also doing okay-ish at the moment. Her urine isn't as red anymore, in case you've been here last week and you were worried how she's doing. She's doing okay. So hopefully everything goes well on that front as well. So yeah, it goes at least okay at the moment. Obviously, it can always go better, but yeah, can't have everything. And for the rest, nothing too crazy on the planning. As I said, try to see if we can get our kiddos to my parents. Normally, I would have bring them on Tuesday and pick them up on Thursday. But our daughter still has swimming lessons on Wednesday, so yeah. The swim school she goes to has swimming lessons in vacations. It was a little bit of, well, it is a little bit of getting used to because the other swimming school didn't. Part of me is like, why do they? But at the same time, I'm like, it's good for her to have at least some kind of normalcy in the schedule. So yeah, tomorrow she also needs to go to swimming lessons. I also need to hope that the car doesn't give up, because it was when I went to go do the groceries this morning, started to make a funny noise. Let my husband know. He looked at his stuff and he was like, I think it's that. Obviously, we don't need to drive to my parents with the car. It was like, as long as it's not too big of a drive, it's okay. So yeah, fingers crossed that everything goes well and that we arrive safely and get back safely. Because yeah, thankfully we have like roadside assistance, so if it goes wrong, honestly I hope that it's like when we go back, so at least then I can call my parents-in-law like, hey, could you perhaps pick her up and bring her home so that she can at least at a somewhat decent time sleep, and that I stay with the car, because yeah, obviously there needs to be somebody with the car when you wait for somebody to fix the car or tow it away, whatever applies. So yeah, fingers crossed, but we will see. But yeah, I'm going to leave it at this. I got a decent amount of work done. Still need a lot of filling in here, but that will be for the next time when I work on it, because it's now late enough that I'm like, I'm done for the day. But yeah, it was a long, rambly one today, but sorry, not sorry. But yeah, if you're still here, I hope you liked the video. If you did, you know the drill. Like the video, subscribe if you haven't, and yeah, if you're still here and you like all this rambling, you might want to stick around. I have one of these rambly long, well, many times long, rambly videos once a week on a Wednesday. And other things throughout the week. And yeah, if there's anything you want to ask me, tell me, recommend, whatever it all is, or just you want to let me know that you watched the video, that's also possible. Then yeah, leave a comment down the comment section below this video and I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. But yeah, if it's nighttime here, might take me a couple of hours because there's something called sleep that I also need to have. But yeah, with that all being said, again, I hope you liked the video. If you did, well, you know the drill, and I hope to see you in a next video. Bye!